My dear Earth friends. This is Anyo speaking. I am an Arcturian. If any of you know of a Smurf lookalike contest, please post so in the comment section. Winning a contest on another planet is on my bucket list, and I bet I'd be unbeatable at Smurf lookalike contests. I'm already blue, so I'll only need to shrink in size from a few feet to a few inches, and decide which Smurf I should be. It'll be the easiest win of my life. Alternatively, just entertaining a group of Earth children as a real-life Smurf sounds fun too. Aside from my bucket list adventures, I am also thrilled to have the privilege to share this first message of your year 2025. Well, let's get to it. Right now being on Earth is giving you one huge advantage and one huge drawback. Meanwhile, us galactics have it the other way around. We have a drawback where you have an advantage, and we have an advantage where you have a drawback. Namely, you're currently in a position to acquire great amounts of soul growth, which is what many beings and many souls value the most in the entire universe. And it's hard to even conceive of a place that's better for soul growth than Earth. You might not care about soul growth much, but hundreds of millions of souls applied to be born on Earth and were rejected. Meanwhile, practically every soul that applied to be born among Pleiadians or Arcturians was accepted. Very young souls are guided, as a child is guided by their parents. After that, souls are free to choose where to incarnate, with more and more options opening up to them as they gain experience and maturity. Souls are free to refuse to incarnate in places that can teach them critical lessons, but they might not be able to progress until they do. Creation is a playground where souls are more or less free to do and experience as they wish. Souls themselves can't be wounded or unmade, except in very rare circumstances. So creation itself is sort of like a heaven for souls. Souls are free to do as they wish, are free from suffering, and are immortal. In that context, what souls typically want most is soul growth. A huge reason why the darkness on Earth is still there is that many souls of Earth humans are asking for the situation to go on just a little while longer, so that they may wring just a bit more soul growth out of these last days in prison Earth. So you have one huge advantage, you're getting great amounts of soul growth. And you have one huge drawback, life is incredibly tough on Earth. Us positive galactics have it the other way around. We're typically only getting small amounts of soul growth, but then again our lives are filled with joy and bliss and happiness and connection. Now, life on Earth is going to shift to a situation where Earth humans, too, will stop gaining as much soul growth, but will have more happiness and connection and love. I don't predict New Earth to arrive completely in 2025. However, I agree with Hakann's predictions that likely your lives will become substantially easier in 2025, and likely in 2025 galactics will make physical contact either openly or with select individuals. These aren't certainties, because you have free will and it depends on the choices of Earth humans, but these things are more likely than not. In the process, your lives will become easier, and the amount of soul growth you will be able to gain will decrease. So the conditions to gain soul growth are more favorable today, and are more favorable in the next months, than they will be for the rest of your lives. Therefore, I invite you to take this opportunity to not just spend the next few months waiting for other people to liberate Earth. Instead, these are golden months to do your spiritual practice, to act with love towards others, to start positive practical initiatives, to actively take good care of yourself, etc. Even small things can have a great positive impact. Just some kind words, or some daily deep breaths, will plant a tree that will grow many fruits. In particular, I would like to invite you to work on releasing your resistance towards pain and towards so-called negative thoughts and emotions. After all, these are critical 3D lessons, and the time to learn them is now. If pain is simply observed without resistance, it will pass through you, and it will not turn into suffering. If so-called negative thoughts and emotions are simply observed, they too will pass. Furthermore, no one is actually harmed if you have a so-called negative thought or emotion. So why would they be bad? It is only your words and actions that can potentially hurt others, so it's only those that you should seek to control. That said, I also fully understand that some of you may be exhausted. So, please take good care of yourself and rest sufficiently. And if you are exhausted, then you are exhausted, and there is no reason to beat yourself up over that. The idea that you're not allowed to rest also is just a thought that can be observed. The good news is that more pleasant and connected and love-filled times really are coming. The bad news is that the perfect days for soul growth really are going. With that, I wish you a very good 2025. And I also wish to pass on the best wishes and all the love from Tunia, Hakann, Ashtar, Tourmaline, Arkok, Emeralda and their families, as well as from my own family. With love, and with my deepest respect for your steadfastness. This was Anyos.